been to or seen the North Pole? If you have, then you have probably seen the massive ice caps melting away. This is because of global warming. Global warming is an overall increase in temperatures across the Earth. This causes ice caps to melt, animals to lose their natural habitats, and natural disasters. But is this because of humans, or is this actually a crisis after all?
As you can see, there's massive changes in the ice cap size in the last 50 years. According to National Geographic, over the past century, the global mean sea level has risen 4 to 8 inches. Also, the annual rate of increase over the last 20 years has been 0.13 inches, roughly twice the average speed of the past 80 years. By this data, we can see that ice caps are definitely melting.
National Geographic News states, industrialization, deforestation, and pollution have greatly increased atmospheric concentrations. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide are all greenhouse gases that help trap heat in Earth's surface. This is accelerated by human activity, but the biggest gas emitted by humans is believed to be carbon dioxide, but that is only 0.039% of the atmosphere.
And I think one of the easiest ways to reduce what we're putting into the atmosphere is to change our fuel sources. So in going from coal-fired power plants to natural gas systems reduces CO2 emissions by about half per unit of energy.
LiveScience.com predicts that by the year 2100, the average temperature of the Earth could increase between 1.4 and 5.8 degrees Celsius. This would cause much increase in seasonal temperatures around the world and cause an increase in natural disasters. Also, the polar ice caps would see a massive decrease in size, or possibly they could completely melt away. This would cause sea levels to increase and flood some cities on the coast, leaving people without a home.
According to the multinational Arctic Climate Impact Assessment Report, the Arctic is feeling the effects the most. Average temperatures in Alaska, western Canada, and eastern Russia have risen twice the global average, compiled between 2000 and 2004. This shows the massive increase in temperature that is already occurring.
So there can be a broad variety of implications from climate change depending on where you are. For instance, putting more CO2 in the atmosphere and then expecting the ocean to uptake that, you're acidifying the environment, and so that makes it less habitable for creatures, like crustaceans near the coast. Like if you're in the Northeast and you like lobster, there are implications for that. People in coastal cities and in small islands, they suffer from upwelling, so of rising sea level due to the melting ice caps. But then in terms of rainforests and things like that, you can see changes in weather patterns due to climate change. And so places that were once very lush and tropical might end up becoming deserts and very dry, or vice versa, areas that were once very dry might become tropical.
This evidence proves that global warming is real, and that it is also a problem. But there are others that say global warming isn't even real. The main evidence that supports this claim is that global warming predictions have been proven wrong. In 2007, former Vice President Al Gore stated in his Earth Has a Fever speech, "Our projection of 2013 as a removal of ice in summer is already too conservative." He also went on to predict that by summer 2013, the ice caps would completely melt away.
This prediction obviously was incorrect, but it's not because global warming is a hoax. It didn't happen because there are more fuel sources available now than there was in 2007. There are more electric cars, windmills, solar panels, and dams. These are just some examples of how energy is being made cleanly. This reduces CO2 emissions that has slowed the melting of ice caps. If there was no alternate energy resources available, then the ice caps could be completely melted by now.
Yeah, so that is something called a positive feedback. So we emit CO2 that acts as a greenhouse gas and absorbs radiation and heats the atmosphere. So you're warming the temperature of the Earth, thereby melting the ice caps, which emit more water vapor, which water vapor is also a greenhouse gas. And so that can trap more radiation and warm the Earth even more. So essentially, when you have a positive feedback, you kind of have a runaway train effect, essentially.
All this evidence proves global warming is really a threat. It is being accelerated by human usage of fossil fuels. One of the best solutions for this is undoubtedly the use of alternative energy sources to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as much as possible. This will slow down global warming, help avoid ice caps from completely melting, help animals from losing their natural habitats, and reduce the rising sea levels. We all know it's happening, and we believe it is truly a fact.
Science.com predicts that by the year
James, what's that behind you?
Hey, what are you doing?
Squatch never dies.
Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the